Hey there, Morbid Maniacs! It's time for another spooky video. I believe that this is my first spooky video of 2021. And today's video is going to be all about the Stull Cemetery. And I apologize if you guys hear any noises. My boyfriend is on his game in the living room and he talks really loud and I can't get him to shut up sometimes. And also my cat is eating Meow Mix, as always. But let's get started with the video. Located in Stull, Kansas, the cemetery is known to be one of the 7 gateways to hell. The town of Stull is a very small town, holding only 20 residents. It's said that the name was actually Skull, but it was later changed to Stull to cover up any evidence of anything paranormal or supernatural that might have happened in the area. But Stull actually came from a man who owned a post office in the area. The town was actually called Deer Creek Community up until 1899. The cemetery is home to many legends and paranormal happenings. These legends date back to hundreds of years ago, but they did not make print until the 1970s. One of the first legends that had to do with the cemetery was a church which used to reside in it. This church was built in 1867 and it was believed that Satan worshippers would hold rituals within it. Though the church may have not been evil back then, the worshippers somehow opened a portal within it. This portal is believed to be a portal to hell. Roofless and falling apart, crumbling at the seams, it is said that rain will never pour on the inside of this church, even though there's no roof at all. It was said that back in the 1950s, a man stabbed the local mayor in the old barn within the cemetery. Years later, this barn was converted into a church, which was then gutted out by a fire. It is believed that you are unable to break glass bottles within this church. And there used to be an old decaying crucifix which hung on one of the walls within the church. And it was said that when people passed by the church after midnight, this crucifix would unknowingly flip upside down all on its own. On March 29th, 2002, the church was demolished after mysterious circumstances. No one quite knows why the church was torn down. There was also said to be a set of steps which were behind the old church on the right side. These steps are known to be very hard to find as they are overgrown in grass and weeds. It is believed that whenever you find these stairs, you will be compelled to walk down them. These stairs are said to lead down to the netherworld or hell itself. And if you so happen to go down these stairs, it is said that it will take 2 weeks for you to find your way back up, even though it seems as if only moments have passed. Others have claimed that if you go down these stairs, you will be stuck, never to return again. And some have said that as you're walking down the stairs, it feels as though something is dragging you. And some claim that these steps are almost impossible to find as they are covered by a hidden seal which only opens on Halloween. Within the cemetery, there also used to stand a tall, massive pine tree. This pine tree was said to be a hanging spot for condemned witches back in the day. The tree even grew up through a tombstone, cutting it in half. It was cut down the day before Halloween on 1988. It's said that witches today will visit the cemetery and dance around where the tree used to be. Probably the most important legend of the Stull Cemetery is that of the devil himself. The legend states that on the midnight of Halloween, or the night of the spring equinox, the devil will appear within the cemetery. He is said to gather all of the spirits of the people who died violent deaths and have them dance around the earth at the witching hour. Some say he is there visiting the grave of a witch whom he had a child with. The child's grave is said to be within the cemetery. It was said that this child was so deformed that he only lived a few days after being born and was buried within the cemetery. Some say that this child still roams around the cemetery and the surrounding woods, taking on the form of a werewolf. There was also a photo which was taken within the cemetery which appears to show a werewolf-like boy peering from around a tree. And crazy enough, not far from where the church used to sit, there is a tombstone with the last name of Witch. It is believed that this is the burial site of the witch whom the devil had a child with. Unfortunately, all of these rumors brought in a huge crowd on the Halloween of 1988. And it was so overwhelming that the police had to step in. Nearly 500 people showed up that night at the cemetery, and they damaged and vandalized tombstones. A chain-link fence now surrounds the property, as well as no trespassing signs, and it's also highly patrolled by police. There's even been a rumor that mysterious people also guard the cemetery from disturbances. These people have been known to trail intruders for up to 20 miles. And this has led to further speculation that there's something going on within the Stull Cemetery that they don't want us to know about. However, most just believe that the locals around Stull Cemetery are just sick of the rumors and they just don't want to see the tombstones of their loved ones get more vandalized and broken. And it's believed that the Stull Cemetery is the cause of most of the paranormal happenings which have took place around town. Back in the 1900s, a young boy was accidentally burned to death by his father. A few years later, a man was found in town hanging from a tree. Both of these events took place in an area known as Devil's Road, which no longer exists and is found on old maps of Stull. There have also been several suicides which have taken place within town, with their bodies found in public places. If you are brave enough to visit the cemetery for a night or two, you may hear some awful and strange noises. Many visitors of the Stull Cemetery have fallen victim to various paranormal phenomenon. Most have reported missing time and memory loss. They have claimed that even though their watches show that they have spent several hours within the cemetery, all they can remember is nothing. And one visitor claimed that one of the houses on the other side of the street appeared as though it were burning. And someone else claimed that they were grabbed on the arm by an unseen force. There was a story of two young men who visited the cemetery one night. They were overcome by a strong wind which came out of nowhere. They raced back to their car only to find that it was moved on the opposite side of the street and was now facing the other direction. And another man claimed that this same mysterious wind had knocked him down within the church and would not let him move. And a story which was published in the Time magazine stated that Pope John II was traveling over Stull, Kansas to Colorado. He did not want to fly over the cemetery as he claimed it was unholy ground. And famous singer Ariana Grande visited the town and said she smelt the fumes of sulfur. The cemetery was also featured in the season 5 finale of Supernatural. So there was the story of the Stull Cemetery. What do you guys think of this cemetery? I absolutely love cemeteries and graveyards. You guys can probably tell I make a lot of videos on them. But would you guys ever visit this cemetery? Have you ever visited this cemetery? Let me know, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big ol' thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become Morbid Maniac. And if you guys were not aware already, I now have an OnlyFans account where I will be posting all of my sexier content. So if you are interested in that, the link is always in the description box below, so you can go check that out. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.